he will provide wherever he calls you. And then listening to the Holy Spirit and everything, just waking up every day being like, okay, what do you want me to do? Okay, do I share this story? Do I not share that story? Do I, is it okay if I do this, or do you want me to spend time with you? Do you want me to, how do you want me to love people today? Was just a huge experience and shift for me. And that's my luggage that I traveled with a really long time. This is one of my favorite things. I love spiritual warfare, and like, it's cool. So these were some of the spiritual territorial spirits that we went through. In Costa Rica, there was hunger, apathy, indifference, fear, laziness, legalism, religion, and people were really closed off. Australia, there is poppy syndrome, which is if a poppy grows too tall, it'll choke out the sunlight of all the other poppies, and they won't be able to survive. So people in Australia are too afraid to show up and grow and be successful. They're okay with being successful, but not too successful, so the fear of success. They have a lot of depression, anxiety, suicide, drugs, and alcohol that they deal with. Kenya is very tribalism or racism focused. There's just a heaviness or oppression of religion, formality, apathy, and laziness. And these are the ones I experienced or God gave me or my team experienced. Amsterdam was atheism, perversion, lust, the Bella spirit, identity, and sexuality. So twisted. Mexico, you can just see it in their culture. They worship death. You can just see that by all the skulls and everything everywhere. Alcoholism, laziness, religion, and especially in our area, domestic violence and fatherlessness. So those are some of the things that, like, if you're not careful, you could very easily fall into perversion and lust when you're in Amsterdam. Or if you don't have your guard up, then you could really get into being lazy in Kenya, or fearful would be another big one. So things that I had to be mindful of and go in protecting myself over. Questions? So my next step is school of ministry development. So on my last day, up until we got back, I didn't know what I was going to do next. And I felt like I was supposed to do a fast. So I did a 3-day water fast, and I prayed about a lot of things. Because I had a panic attack the last day while we were in Mexico, freaking out about everything I was coming back to. And then the next day was my birthday, and we flew home, and that was hard. So we came back, and I was like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. And I prayed about it, and God, I felt confirmed that He wanted me to go back for phase 2, which is school of ministry development. And this phase is for those people considering full-time ministry. So I still don't know whether or not I'm going to go into full-time missions or ministry. Partly, I just want to be happy and proud of the things that I just did, not worried about the next step. But everybody wants to know for good reason. So going through recovery, I learned that I could have my whole life planned out 5, 10, 15 years ahead. I could tell you who I am, what I'm going to do with my life, and then God wiped that all out for me and really taught me to just rely on what He wants to do in my life. And so now I just kind of show up one day at a time, one moment at a time, and God will figure out the rest. And if He wants me to do something, He's going to make it happen. So He's really provided a way for me to do that in the past, and I'm trusting that He's going to do that now. So whether or not what my next step is, I don't know. But I know that I will be going to the phase 2. It focuses on leadership and practical ministry tools. So even if I weren't to go into ministry or missions full time, it would be still things that are good for leadership development, etc. And we focus on a lot more hands-on projects and discipleship application, which is right in line with my heart too. It'll be 3 months. I'll start April 6th through June 19th, so I have about a month and a half here if people want to meet and chat or learn discipleship and evangelism tools, which I'd love to teach. Or ask questions, whatever it is, and then I will go back to Arvada for the next step, God willing. I won't do any more outreach. Now, moving on forward, if you've done a discipleship training school, you can join any other school's outreach phase, but I won't do that unless I feel super called to go do it, because it is absolutely more expensive. But we will go on one road trip, I think, to Redding, California, which will be just part of the experience, and then I'll be living on campus again, so I will be making all my own food, because I can't eat anything that the campus makes, so they'll give me a little bit of a refund, but I'll be making my own food like I did last time, if you followed that journey, which was fun. I made freezer meals for 2 months, but, so I'm just asking that you guys would prayerfully consider if you want to partner with me in the next step, or not, and from my perspective, like, if you pray about it and you believe in me and want to support me and continue on this journey, like, pray about it, because if God tells you not to, please don't, because I want you to honor what He wants for you and for me. So just please consider that prayerfully. If you do want to support, God just really gave me the 2 Corinthians 9:7 verse. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give. Not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. So yeah, just really seek the Lord in that. I'm looking for either one-time donations towards the program cost, or monthly supporters, so that I can get shampoo and toothpaste and gas if I can get a car. I will be trying to do Uber or Lyft or something in this next month, hopefully, to try and raise some money myself if I can. And then prayer support partners, if you do want to give financially or don't, people that can pray with me and support me through this next step, because that's most valuable for me, to be covered in prayer while I'm going through this. My mom and my grandma and my aunts can't do it alone. You don't help if you can. But yeah, I believe that God's going to provide. If He wants me there, He'll make it happen. So, and I believe I have the word to do so. So if you want to give, these are some ways you can give. Venmo is typically the easiest because it's not tax deductible. So if you want to just Venmo me straight, Taylor Pickering 12. Otherwise, you can donate directly to Ywam if you'd rather do it that way. You can go towards my school payment, or go to GoFundMe and do it that way, but they do take a portion of my proceeds out, just be aware, or cash or check. But yeah, so if you want to take a picture, or I'll be blasting stuff all over social media in the next phase, but this was just more of a way for me to share with as many people as I could, as quickly as I could, so I didn't have to go through this process with each person, because this process of coming back to society and debrief, we had a week of it while we were where we came back, and then we spent a week at Ywam learning how to adjust back to society, but it's still overwhelming for me to, in a lot of respects, to just go back into having conversations with people, and because I've experienced so much, and so it's a hard adjustment to make. So I still want to invest in relationships, especially with friends and family, and I still want to reach out to whoever wants to connect with me, but yeah, it's been a transition coming back, so I'm trying to kind of pace myself, do this piece first where I share with people, and then get focused on my next steps. So thanks for
Can
listening.
you give a little bit of Ywam history briefly?
Sure.
And where it goes throughout the world?
I can refer a book.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Because I had to read it, but I read like 6 or 7 books while we were gone too, that was part of the curriculum. Ywam was started to give the youth a platform to get into missions and ministry, and it was just this wave that our founder, Lauren Cunningham, had a vision of a wave of youth going into all the nations. And so it's a faith-based, biblically based organization that's been around for years. I don't know how many years, but a lot of years. Yeah.
70s or
Yeah, almost, probably close to 80 years or so. Is there anything specific that you're looking for?
No.
Okay.
Nothing more specific.
But yeah, their whole vision and mission is to know God and make God known and provide opportunities. It's not a perfect organization. A lot of it is youth leading youth, so there's inherent issues within that. But it also, like especially at the base that I'm going to, is very focused on training and sending, and they're focused on equipping the next generation to do missions and ministry. So for me, I could have gone to the church and had my internship that way, but I felt like God gave me this environment to really focus on my spiritual giftings in the next step, which was cool, to get to develop that.
It sounds like it's real worldwide.
Oh yeah,
There's
so
a lot of
bases internationally,
bases.
everywhere. That's one of the cool things of actually going through Ywam, is that once you've done a DTS, then you can go to any base around the world. and stay, I believe, for just like the cost of housing and being part of their community. So I'll always have like a YWAM family that I can travel with if I want to. But yeah, they're everywhere.
And after this
Forget the
step,
stats.
and this, there are other opportunities, you may go on, you don't know at this point.
Yeah.
So there's other schooling that can even get you a degree.
And for those of you who don't know, Jeff and Heidi's son, my grandson, he trained with YWAM in Australia,
New Zealand.
or New Zealand, and then ended up going to Jordan that summer for 3 months for his ministry. So sometimes it's not a traveling ministry, it's to one particular place.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
But
me it's
it would be
hard because
Her cousin.
yeah, for me it's hard because of the health stuff. Like, maybe if God calls me to do something somewhere else, I will. But it's easier to be able to food prep and then bring things and have a place to stay in between without the flight cost of places back and forth. But if God calls me somewhere, that's great. But yeah, it's cool to have somebody else in the family.
As well as friends, we've got friends too.
Yeah.
Brandon and Daniel.
So thank you guys for coming.